Hi folks, my name's John Oakes. I'm here at Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location, and today, yet again, we're coming at you here with another addition to our inventory. This is a very nice car here that we got, one that kind of has a special place in my heart anyways. I grew up, one of my very first cars that I ever had was a 79 Trans Am, so kind of the same era of car here, but a lot of the things that I see on this car just reminds me so much of my old original car that I had there. But we're going to go through this car here with you right now, folks. We're going to tell you as much as what we know about it here. As we always tell you, always go to our website to www.hanksters.com. Check it out there. You're going to see upwards of 100 photos as well as the video that you're watching right now. And you're also going to be able to actually view a list of all the options and so forth that are on the car. So as we sit here, we're going to see obviously that our car here is done in this nice silver color. Again, silver is a very nice popular color here with these cars. We had one of these before and it did real well for us. It's this one here's got the like the gray, black, and the red decals here on it. So of course you see the iconic, the Phoenix, the Firebird hood decal here on the hood, very nicely laid out. Of course you've got the 400 decals up here on your shaker air cleaner top there. And yes, that is a shaker. It does actually functionally shake because it's hooked to the engine and not the hood there. Now as far as the rest of the car, the front bumper here, obviously it's plastic, it's not going to be metal, but again it's all in good shape. There's no cracks or anything on that front bumper, no cracks in the paint either there. As far as coming back here, you're going to see all of our ground effects, our fender flares and such that these Trans Ams came with. So you see here on the front side here, these are again a plastic piece here, and that is all in good condition. Our particular Trans Am here obviously has the Pontiac rally wheels. Now these ones, they elected just to do the painted wheel, all steel, no beauty ring, very nice look to the car, and it does have the correct center caps. That Pontiac Arrowhead center cap there just finishes those wheels off nice. As far as the tires go on this vehicle, BFGoodrich Radial TA tires, very popular choice with the muscle car and classic car guys out there. These are the Radial TAs, and the sizes on those are 225, 70, R15s on all four corners of the car. Of course, you see the front fender vents here, or louver, that these cars came with here. Very nice look there. Again, you got the Trans Am decal on the front fender. You also notice that this car has the molding down the side. Now, I don't believe that this was an original piece to these cars. However, a lot of them, even the one that I had, the customer actually elects to have this added on. Again, it's a protection factor from getting the doors banged up on these cars whenever somebody else decides to be careless and open their door up. So, so that's what that's for. But again, it's in great condition. And it looks good on the side of this car here, and it's going to protect it. As far as our doors go, you can see the gaps to the front as well as on the back side. And the back looks like it might be a little bit tighter there, only because it does have that door edge trim on there, once again for protection there on the very edge of the door there. As far as all your trim work here, your bright work, you've got the piece here on the top of the door. That's nice and straight, no dents or dings, no pitting in that either. Now again, on these Trans Ams here, you very rarely ever had the drip rail moldings on them. You just had the roof that came over, nice and flat look. Obviously you can tell everything's nice and smooth all the way around. Your trim back here, nice and straight, no pitting there either. The windows and the door here, these are slightly tinted. Again, no scratches, no cracks, no breaks in any of that obviously. And the mirrors, you did have the dual color matched mirrors here, passenger and driver's side. The paint on those is in great shape. The glass in the mirrors is in great condition. And the driver's side is a remotely adjustable mirror there from inside on the door panel. The door handle itself is in great shape. Now it is a chrome finish, and then it has the silver right in the center there, and I believe that is a decal just to kind of break up the coloring there. Let's go ahead and open our door up, take a look at the interior. Again, for this particular color combination, this is a really classy look here with this car. The red upholstery inside, that's all vinyl. The carpeting, everything in here I believe is all original. No rips or tears in the carpeting, that looks good. The seats, those are in great condition as far as the upholstery goes. That is the factory dash, factory instrumentation, and you also have a Pioneer, it's an AM/FM cassette player in there. Obviously that is aftermarket, but they did a nice job there at putting that in. Of course, we have the full center console with the automatic shifter there. And then of course this has power windows, so you see the switches for those on that center console. All the seat belts are present, retractables up front, of course just your normal belts in the back there. The antenna for the radio, you will notice there's no antenna on the exterior of this car. It is built into the windshield. You do have the speaker in the package tray, speaker up front there in the dash as well. That is the factory steering wheel also. So again, nothing aftermarket there. That is all factory. The other thing we always check out too, again, all of your seals and your weather stripping. Your seals up around the top of the window here. And you've got over here on the door, you got your weather stripping here down the door all the way around, all in great shape. Even the rubber bump stops. You even have the little GM label here and your label down here as well on the door. So everything is complete on this car. Let's go ahead and close this door. Again, the door shuts nice and easy. Again, all flush here. Your elevations are good as far as the fenders and quarter panels go. No disappointments there. Again, you have your wheel well molding here and aerodynamic effects here on the car. Again, in good shape. We've already gone over the wheels, the tire sizes and such. As far as the rear windshield goes here, we do have, or rear window, not windshield. All your trim around that is in good shape, all affixed as it should be, nice and tight laid down there. No dents or dings all the way around. In your package tray, not only do you have the rear speaker, you also have rear defrost on this car as well. So again, anytime you come out, if your windows might be a little fogged up, you'll be able to turn the defrosters on and get that all cleared up. As we come around the back side of the car now, of course, this is exactly how your 75 is going to look. You've got that rear trunk spoiler with the ears, your tail lights here all in great shape, no cracks or chips in any of the tail light lenses. Your bezels all the way around painted silver to match the car here. I believe that's exactly how that should have been. Of course, your Trans Am decals back here on the trunk lid. The lower portion of the bumper, silver, just like the rest of the car. And then the main section of the bumper, and we would call, I don't know if you want to call these little bumperettes or not, but again, those are all done in the black. The trunk lid itself fits nicely on this here. You can see the gaps all the way around. The elevations are good on that as well. Now I'm going to get the key here out of my pocket. We're going to go inside the trunk and show you what the inside of the trunk looks like. So with that opened up, first and foremost, the key does in fact work the trunk lock. The springs on the trunk lid hold the trunk up all on its own as it should. The underside of the trunk done the same, silver as the exterior of the car. You even still retain the original bumper jack and spare tire jack instructions and so forth right here on the underside of your trunk lid. Your seals and your weather stripping here all in great shape, no rips or tears tires and any of that securely fastened to the car as it should be. All of your rain gutters, water channels, those are all good and solid. So again, nothing, no water or anything is going to get into this trunk here. It's all going to run right out the back of the car. As far as the interior of the trunk, first and foremost, you see we do have a set of floor mats that go up inside the car. We just always elect to leave those out so you can see the true conditioning of the carpet. It's got a nice trunk mat in it here. The trunk floor itself is in great shape. No issues there. Again, spare tire, and it does in fact have the original bumper jack. It is located up underneath here, right underneath your package tray. You'll see that in there. So that's your trunk. We'll close that up. Okay, and then we'll go around to the passenger side now. Again, nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary over here, all the same stuff. Your ground effects are all in great shape. That molding down the side does exactly what it should, protects the doors from getting dinged up. As far as your gaps and your elevations on your doors, everything lines up very nicely. All your body lines line up great. Your trim work here on the top of the door and on the back side here, all of which all look good. You can see that mirror there, the same thing as over on the driver's side. Only difference is this one has to be manually adjusted. And then of course your window here in the passenger side door here. Again, no chips or cracks in that, slightly tinted, all looks good. Let's open our door up on this side. And that way you'll get a chance just to kind of see the overall condition of that interior from both sides. This does also, by the way, have a tilt steering column in it. So you're going to be able to adjust that for driver comfortability. And then as far as your dash pad goes, a lot of these right in the center from sitting out in the sun and so forth would get a crack in that dash. Not on this car here. All good, no cracks whatsoever. Anywhere that I can see, everything looks to be in really good shape. So we'll go ahead, again, door weather stripping, seals and so forth up around the windows, rubber bump stops, all of which are all good on the car. We'll close this up. Again, that shuts nice and easy. And basically, it's just kind of give it a once over as we walk around here and we get back up towards the front of the car. Now, like I said, on these Trans Ams, they all had the plastic front ends on them there. The grill work on these, the dual grills, those are very nice, all in good shape. You had your directionals up here, parking lights and so forth. Those lenses are in great shape. Your actual headlights, just traditional sealed beam units, glass lenses, no chips or cracks in any of that. Of course, right on the nose there, you had the Phoenix Firebird emblem there also. The black bumpers, just like back on the rear there, those are all in good shape. Up underneath here, underneath your front fascia, you did have that small air dam underneath there. Now, in some of your later models, that air dam was a little bigger, hung down a little lower. On this one here, that is what it was. Didn't really stick down all that far. The hood itself, this is your factory steel hood. Like I said, we've already been over the decal. It all looks good. Your shaker hood scoop here. Now again, these weren't, they weren't functional to the point where they would pull air in the back unless you would actually trim that out. You could do that to where it would pull air down, but from the factory, they did not come that way. Your glass here in your windshield, that's again in great shape. All of your bright work, your molding and trim work here, all in great condition also. Now again, it does have wipers on it. They are recessed underneath the hood, and those are all in good condition too. The wiper arms as well as the windshield wiper blades. Now what we'll do next is open our hood up so we can go through the engine and then talk a little bit about the drive line until or before we actually take it down or put it up on our lift, I should say, and go through the underside. So the hood latch itself, it works. The underside of the hood, done black. You've got your hood insulation here, tacked up as it should be. No rips or tears that I can see as far as the insulation goes. You can see the opening in the hood that your shaker actually pokes up through, and you can see all of the seals that go around there are in great condition too. That's what goes up against the hood, gives it an airtight seal there. That way, you're not going to have anything, you know, rubbing on it or whatsoever. As far as the engine goes, this is the original numbers match Pontiac 400 cubic inch motor here. It's going to have the stock cast intake on it, stock valve covers, everything all painted blue as these were from the factory. Stock heads and so forth. It even has the stock cast exhaust manifolds on it for the exhaust to start with. And then it does have a full dual exhaust on it until it gets back to the muffler. It's got the single muffler transversely located back there with the dual tailpipes. This car has factory air conditioning on it too. So this is not aftermarket, it's all factory stuff. You can see everything's all hooked up there as it should be. The belt is run to it. Everything is functional on this as well. Factory style or stock style radiator with the shroud. It does have a clutch fan on it. The carburetor that's on it, typical of these year Pontiac Firebirds, it's got the Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. And as everybody would always tell you, when the Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetors were adjusted correctly and running correctly, they were one of the best 4-barrel carburetors out there. So you just want to always keep an eye on those, keep them fresh. You're able to rebuild them. They're a good carburetor as long as everything's functioning right. This one has been gone through. Everything's good to go. As far as the ignition system, we have an HEI distributor back there. I just wanted to double check that. So again, that's going to be a little better than say like a point style ignition. It's got a nice set of plug wires on it. It is a power brake car with disc brakes up front, drums on the rear, and emergency brake all hooked up. And it is a power steering car as well. Now where this car gets its air from, you're going to ask, because again I said that air scoop or the shaker was not cut out in the back. This was factory on these cars. You had the air snorkel right here that went down inside the inner fender here, and that's where it pulls its cool air from kind of up underneath the car, pulls it through that tube right into the air filter, which is underneath that shaker hood scoop. So that's pretty much it as far as the engine goes. The transmission is a turbo 350 automatic transmission, and the rear end is the GM 10-bolt 243 gear with a POSI unit inside there. Again, it's a good solid drive line for this particular car. We've been all the way around it, so before we go close this thing up and get it on our lift to show you the underside, we'll just kind of close this section of the video out with what I always go over, and that is if you are on our website, www.hanksters.com, you can see obviously the retail pricing for the car. That is going to include enclosed shipping to anywhere within the 48 contiguous states of the United States of America. It also is going to include our Hanksters 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty, which essentially means within the first 3 months, 3,000 miles that you would have this car. If anything happens, motor, transmission, rear end, to any of the internally lubricated items on those various parts there, just give us a call. We'll be glad to get you started and walk through the warranty process with you together. Just give you a helping hand all the way through with that. But hopefully you wouldn't need to have that. You shouldn't. Everything's been going through. Everything's in great condition on this car as well as all of our cars that we sell here. And other than that, I mean, as far as parts and accessories that you may want to possibly add, now this car has factory air, so you probably wouldn't want to change that, but I think maybe wheels, tires, I don't know. Tires are great on this car, the wheels are great too, but maybe you had a different taste and you wanted to do something differently. Just give us a call, email, or a text. Let us know what those items are that you're looking to possibly add. We'll be more than happy to get you pricing on parts, labor, and to get it installed for you there so that we can make this car or any of our other cars your own car to have. So with that said, let's go ahead, get this thing closed up. We'll get it on our lift, show you the complete underside next. All right, folks, so here we are. We got our 75 Pontiac Trans Am up on our lift here. And as always, we're going to go through the complete underside here, going over things such as the frame, the floors, all of the drive line from the underside point of view here, all of your steering, your suspension, your braking components, and just kind of give you the overall condition of everything underneath here. So starting here at the front, of course, with the Trans Ams here, you are going to have that front lower valance here. Of course, with the 75, it's not quite as deep here. It's just a real shallow front nose or chin spoiler there. You do have the additional back here too, right underneath your radiator, and that's a purpose made thing there. Again, that's going to help with that air coming back. It's going to help direct it up in front of that radiator there to help keep things nice and cool for you. Stock style radiator, it's got the shroud on it. It is a clutch fan up there as well. As we come back, we'll go ahead and start to discuss the suspension here, starting with the front cross member. Again, a very important piece on these cars because this is where all of your suspension is bolted off of. So our cross member here, all nice and straight. Your suspension, again, these are going to be just a factory OE style stamped steel components. So your upper and lower control arms, both stock components here. Shocks and springs, again, those are all in good shape. They've been checked out. All the mounting hardware, the bushings on your shocks and so forth, those are all in good shape. Bushings as well as ball joints for all of your control arms, those have all been checked over in our shop here at Hangster's Hot Rods and made sure that everything is good roadworthy quality stuff here, greased and maintained. As far as the rest of the suspension, you do in fact have the sway bars, both the front and the rear. Up front, you've got a nice heavy duty sway bar here. Bushings at the frame mounts here are in great shape. Back here at your sway bar end links, all those bushings are all in good shape as well. Very nice there. As far as our steering goes, we check over everything here. First and foremost, we start with our pitman arm. We go to the drag link. We check everything there, make sure everything's good and straight. Check all our connections, check our tie rods, the tie rod ends, and everything all checks out on this car. Alignment's all been checked, everything. All of your ball joints, say here on your tie rod ends and so forth, those are all in great shape as well. As far as the steering itself, it is power steering, and then the brakes, of course, those are power brakes also. Disc brakes up front, drums out on the rear, and it is complete with the emergency brake all hooked up as well. And nothing out of the ordinary here. This is just all factory stuff, so whenever you have to go ahead and change, you know, things like brake pads, rotors and such, you're just going to be able to go into any auto parts store of your liking and pick out your components right there. It's just going to be factory stuff. As far as the wheels and tires go, we have a set of 15-inch wheels on all four corners. They are the Pontiac Rally wheels with the I'm going to say no beauty rings. They're the painted wheels, which look really good on this car. And then the center caps also, they are the correct ones for it as well. BFGoodrich Radial TA tires on here for rubber, good tires. Again, a popular tire for all the classic muscle car people out there. And the size on these are going to be 225/70 R15s on all four corners. The tread's in great shape. As we come back in here to the center, again, we're going to look underneath here now at the drive line here. Again, I'm looking at things like the oil pan, the trans pan, making sure that there's no leaks or drips on any of that stuff. So yes, starting here with our oil pan on our 400 Pontiac motor here, I look up at that oil pan and I see no leaks or drips on there. Even here at the drain plug, nice and dry all the way around. Right behind that, of course, we've got our Turbo 350 automatic transmission. It does have that plastic flywheel cover there. That's going to help protect any dirt and debris from getting in there and possibly causing any kind of damage to your flywheel. All of our transmission lines, all nice and dry. Transmission pan here, nice and dry all the way around. As we come back, we've got our cross member here for our transmission. That's in great condition. The mount itself's in great shape. And of course, we check that output shaft seal where your slip yoke slides into the transmission, and that is nice and dry also. Before we get too far, we of course look up here and see this very nice exhaust system on this car. It starts with the cast exhaust manifolds, comes back in our full duals here, as you can see, crossover pipe. It's got the really nice exhaust clamps here, as you can see, all the way back. Then of course you do have the tailpipes that go up into our transverse mounted muffler. We'll see that a lot better here as we get towards the back of the vehicle. And then of course you can see it does have the dual tailpipes. As far as our floors and our frame go in the car, of course, this is not a full frame car. You do have the subframe up front. Again, that is in good condition, nice and square, good and straight here. As far as the body mounts here that I can see, those are in great shape. They're not squished, they're not dry rotted, cracked. They all look to be in good shape. As far as the floor goes, floor for the most part looks very good underneath here. It does appear as though there may have been a couple little tiny little repairs, but everything's been done correctly, seam sealed and so forth. You can see it's got all the bracing, all of your stamping lines in the floors here, all the way back throughout the car. Brake lines and fuel lines and such all run nice and neat along the pinch welds of the car here on either side and along the frame rail. As far as those pinch welds go, pinch welds on the driver's side as well as on the passenger side is nice and straight, and the rocker panels on the car are good and solid all the way back on the car. Of course, our drive shaft here, it's a balanced unit here, weighted so that it eliminates driveline vibration. And then we come back to our rear end. Now this is a GM 10-bolt rear. 243 gear in this with a POSI unit. The front snout nice and dry here. And then as we come around to the back side, we'll take a look at that rear differential cover too. We want to make sure that that is good and dry. As far as our rear suspension, we'll kind of go through that right now. You see the multi-leaf rear suspension back here. You've got that rear sway bar. Again, all of your rubber bushings and mounts and so forth, all in good shape here. The shocks are in good condition as well. I've already mentioned that it's got the emergency brake cables all hooked up coming back to the rear drum brakes. Again, we've already been over the wheels and tires. It's all the same sizes on the back that it is the front. And as I mentioned there, you've got that transverse mounted muffler up here. I'm not quite sure of the name brand on there, but as you can see, the condition of the muffler is in great shape though. And of course your tailpipes. You see that exiting, comes out here right between the leaf spring and the rear quarter panels on both sides of the car there. Nice and straight all the way back, and they've got a nice slash cut on the end of that tailpipe. Your fuel tank, you can look and see how great a condition that's in too. No dents or dings. It looks to be stock fuel tank. All of your mounting hardware here, all in great shape as well. Of course, from what we can see on the trunk floor looks good and solid here. As I mentioned, we were going to take a look at that differential cover here. Again, 10-bolt GM rear end. Nice and dry all the way around. All your brake lines also nice and dry going out to each side of the car. And that is pretty much it for underneath the 75 Trans Am here. So again, these are a nice popular car here, kind of close to my heart. This is the kind of car that I grew up with when I turned 16. So it brings back a lot of memories for me. So what we'll do next, get this car down off the lift. We're gonna go ahead underneath that shaker hood and fire up that 400 Pontiac motor, let you hear what that motor, along with this complete dual exhaust system, all sound like.